All right, good morning. All right, let's get started. Sorry, a little late here, but let's get rolling. So, for today, Monday the 20th, I just realized I forgot to send out a newsletter. But for today, Monday the 20th, we have the following. Uh, at 8:45 a.m., we had the start of FOMC member Bostic speaking. So, that FOMC member is speaking right now. Um, at 9 a.m., we have FOMC member Waller speaking. That's expected to have a medium impact. FOMC member Barr speaks as well. That's expected to have a light impact. At 10:30 a.m., FOMC member Jefferson speaks. Then at 2 p.m., we have FOMC member Mester speaking. And except for Waller speaking at 9 a.m., none of the other speeches are expected to have any significant impact. So that's it for today, but we'll see what happens either way. We also have FOMC member Bostic spoke earlier today. All right, so looking at the markets as of right now, we're drifting, we're still above where we closed on Friday, but rapidly coming back to that point. Friday's action was overall bearish, mostly down, but not extremely bearish. It was at first, but then we recouped a lot of the losses towards the end of the session. All right. Now, as I mentioned before, the markets seem to be focused more upon the lack of an interest rate hike at this point. At first, everybody was focused on interest rates getting cut, sometime this year, but I do think it's safe to say at this point that we won't get an interest rate cut this year unless we see a shockingly sharp decline in inflation between now and then, which I don't expect, but you never know. So, barring a sudden drop in inflation and a sudden jump in unemployment, both, we would need both. Um, I doubt that we'll see interest rates changing this year. So, I think the markets are now only focused upon making sure that interest rates um, stay the same. I think that's the only focus right now. Of course, we have to wait and see what the Fed does. Now, having said that, let's take a look at the stocks which were moving on Friday. First one is Affirm, AFRM. Had a really solid day, able to pass target number two to the upside, 32.97 a share, then topped out above 33.75. Next up, we have Starbucks, which was probably the best trend of the day. Very linear trend, nice pullbacks, but very low volatility, very consistent price movement. Was able to pass target number two to the upside of 76.74, and then went up to a high of around $78 a share. Next up, we have sorry, wrong one. Next up, we have Tesla, which was able to reach target number two to the upside of 179.59, topped out about 4 cents higher than that. Um, there are a lot of stocks that went back and forth, didn't find their footing, but Futu was able to pass target number one to the upside of 80.61 and then got at least two-thirds of the way to target number two, topping out at 81.86. Um, let's see. TCOM was also bullish, able to reach target number one to the upside of 57.40 and then got halfway to target number two, topping out at 57.90. eBay was very bearish, able to reach target number one to the downside of 51.74, and then it got about two-thirds of the way to target number two to the downside, bottoming out at 51.12. And then lastly, Novavax was bearish, although it didn't go as far as I wanted. Passed target number one to the downside, 13.42, but only went halfway to target number two to the downside. All right, so in the pre-market, let's take a look at what stocks are showing up on my scan. I only see three right now, so let's take a look at them one by one. First, I see FFIE, which is presently up 94%. Well, 103 million shares. That's a lot. It's trading obviously above $1 per share, so we'll definitely add that to the radar. The news here. Let's see. I don't see an actual. I don't know. I don't see an actual reason for this spike in price, but 100 million shares is a lot. So there must be something going on. Let's see. Um, yeah, I don't see an exact reason. All right, well, I don't know. So for some reason, this stock is, I'm looking at that volume, it's so high. So there's got to be something going on to generate this type of volume, but I don't know what it is. So FFIE is on our list, but that's something worth investigating since that is a lot of volume. Uh, Next up is GTBP, which is presently up 133% on 12.5 million shares. It is at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that GTBP to the pre-market radar as well. And the last one I got is NKGN, which is presently up 27% roughly on 5.2 million shares. And it is at least $1 per share. So we will add NKGN to the pre-market radar as well. Lee Auto, yep, that's down off of earnings. Presently down 7.47% on 1.5 million shares, and it's at least $1 per share, so I'll add that to the radar. I remember doing really well in Lee Auto years ago when it had that big jump in price when it started out. But anyway, uh, obviously it's nowhere near where it used to be. Let's see, NMV. Let's take a look. All right, or MMV, sorry, spelled it wrong. That's up 89.5% on 14 million shares and at least $1 per share. Yep. So we'll add MMV to our pre-market radar. SISI, which is currently up 25%, 3.1 million shares and at least $1 per share. That will definitely be added to our pre-market radar. Duo, that's currently down 6.5% on 2.2 million shares, and it's at least $1 per share. So we'll add Duo to our pre-market radar. FLJ, currently down 26% on 1.6 million shares, at least $1 per share. Yep. So we'll add that to the pre-market radar as well. Yeah, that doesn't make. I mean, Stephen, I see the post, but that sounds like a BS article. Whoever wrote that article, that doesn't sound right at all. So I'm just saying, like, I know they said it, but that sounds like, yeah, exactly. That sounds like some nonsense. But anyway, all right. Well, either way, maybe they didn't post. Maybe they haven't posted any earnings in a long time. Let's see. No. Yeah, maybe that it might be it. I mean, they didn't post any earnings earlier this year, so maybe that's true. But it sounds like a weird. I doubt a stock will be up that much just for that reason. There must be something else that they're about to say or do. But anyway, it's great PR. You're right. All right, folks. If you see any other stocks that meet our pre-market objectives, please let me know in the chat. We're looking for a NASDAQ listed stock that is at least $1 per share in the pre-market session today. It must be also trading at least 1 million shares of pre-market volume and must have at least a 6% price change, positive or negative. As we were just talking about, FFIE is up 91%, 1.98 million shares, and it's trading 105 million shares. So that fully meets all of our criteria as an example. Yep. So if you guys see any stocks that meet our minimum criteria, uh, NASDAQ listed at least $1 per share, at least a 6% price change, and that could be a positive or negative price change, and at least 1 million shares of pre-market volume. Let me know in the chat. I do have to wrap up here in about 10 seconds, so if you see anything, let me know. Please be sure to like the video in the meantime. Just smash that like button. I know that we got more than 11 people watching, but we got 11 likes, so please be sure to hit the like button. It greatly helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Also, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that way you get notifications whenever a broadcast starts, etc. For those of you who are watching this on a replay later, please be sure to check out fundertrading.com, our website. You'll see a link in the description of this video. Other than that, for those in the coaching room, I'll see you there in about 23 minutes, and we'll pick up from there. All right, folks, have a great trading session, and I'll see you for tomorrow's pre-market pulse. Take care.